Frenzy, Kingu, a Puff player, and Fat Tino. I don't really know Fat Tino very well, but I know Matteo. Matteo is a former Hamilton player like myself back when we studied at McMaster University in Hamilton, Ontario.
Okay.
Been a very, very good, solid, this is him on the right here, Falcon for a long time. I believe he's ranked in Ontario now, but just has always been like someone who has kind of really pushed kind of the game. And then I'm not sure who this is, but if this was Fat Tino, it would be very funny. But I don't actually know.
Yeah, so now that we got kind of a background of who's starting us off, this is presumably Fat Tino up against Matteo. First off, I'm very hesitant to.
Max,
oh, this is Max.
okay.
I'm very hesitant to go ahead and say Team Zuppy's team looks really good because
Really
we thought that with Team USA,
Yeah.
and look at what happened. It was a one-stock slobber knocker. But we're gonna get into Sheik Falcon Game 1 for Grand Finals of the 5v5 Open Bracket Cruise. This is Max up against Matteo.
Yeah, so back when I used to play Matteo, he's always been kind of like a good mix of the kind of offense and defense. I'm trying to think of like a parallel for like kind of the kind of like a Gatsu style player, you know, rather than like a Nun or S2J. Just someone who's like very, very solid, not like Wizbro where he's super sort of reaction heavy, but just kind of a good mix. And so far we've been seeing that.
Spacing a little bit off there, but I do kind of see what you're getting at with some of these decision makings. Love the command grab there with the up B out of Matteo, but still can't close out this edge guard.
Yeah, you know, this is a matchup that has really kind of evolved over the years. Specifically on Falcon's end, they've made it so that Sheik's reaction tech chase game just isn't kind of the impenetrable wall that it used to be.
Sure.
But it's still a tough matchup, even in 2022.
Yeah, that being said, we are in, again, a crew battle format here, so every stock matters a lot. See if Max can kind of run away with this one, down tilt into up, forward tilt, and grab to follow up as well. Can't extend it much further than that.
Yeah, and so far, Max is running away with it. I feel like what they've been putting out here is just very, very, very solid. I think they're doing a really good job of like always being slightly out of the range of Matteo. Their spacing has just been not just like good, but very deliberate. They're always standing in a spot that I think like kind of tricks Matteo into thinking he has an opening when he doesn't. And I mean, it's part of the reason why Mateo's sort of struggling right now.
Sure. Big knee opening it up right now. Max finds ledge, and it's just a reset. That's all Matteo gets, but just kind of reads the escape option out of Max. How much can Matteo get off of that?
Yeah, I'm seeing little shades of Dreffen with the amount of times that Max throws out the spot dodge. But that's a big grab. Again, just kind of doesn't really get too much off of it. Matteo a little slow to warm up, but still solid knee, and we're back to even.
Yeah, he didn't take a lot of damage in that stock at all. As much as Max kind of was feeling pretty dominant in neutral state there, Matteo's just finding a lot of really solid punishes and openings overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think another thing about Matteo being from my kind of original region too, he was always a pretty like level-headed guy. He's the kind of person I think would be good in a crew battle because he never seemed like that stressed ever. Beautiful tilts from Max, not able to close it out though, and that could be big damage on the side of Falcon's end.
Yeah, Matteo looking for maybe like really loose drift back air right there. Couldn't quite get it on left edge, and then the fair is gonna knock Matteo to last stock here, starting off this crew battle. Really early on that forward air, but only rapid jabs Matteo gets as punish.
Ooh, there's the SCI up on the jab. That was what I was saying earlier about kind of the impenetrable wall of the down throw. Originally, for a long time, when you got down throw, Falcon's short tech roll made it just so that it was almost impossible. You were just hoping they mess up. But now there's just kind of like this wheel of stuff where like, if they read that you're going to SDI, they can go for things like up tilt. It's a lot more nuanced than it used to be, and it goes down to like being able to execute there.
Okay, big punish actually, kind of a boo-boo there from Matteo, but he gets out of it with just the shield drop up air.
Yeah, opting to transform to Zelda just to get that aerial drift there, drift a little bit closer to the stage. Not enough to do it though, but I like the idea, you know, keeping it kind of close. And 86%, any solid dash attack like this, dare extender, doesn't go for it. Opts to kind of go for the mix-up and will close it out there. Beautiful stuff from Max.
Yeah, nice job from Max there. I feel like both of these players were very good specifically with how they played around empty hops. like they would go for empty hop grab. We saw that one situation where Matteo, not necessarily an empty hop, but kind of like full hop drift in and then goes for the up B as kind of like the command grab, forces him to rethink how he shields on platforms. But Max has it etches it out there, and it's Toph coming in as the counter pick here. Again, I said it before in the USA versus the World crew battle from before, but it's a battle of counter picks right now, and Team Max is kind of on the lead when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's been a while since I've seen Toph play in kind of like a serious setting. Even though Toph has been entering. Toph was entered at Genesis. Toph entered, I believe, at Battle of BC. Actually did pretty well at Battle of BC. So, you know, Toph's still actively playing. And I think, you know, like you said, now it kind of sets up the counter picks. But Fox is in some ways a tough character to counter pick. Obviously, you know, things like Samus and that kind of thing. But he's still a pretty flexible player, and I think that speaks a lot to Toph's style as well, kind of an all-around player.
Yeah, I'm hearing the final D counter pick as well. So hard-fought battle for the Sheik going into this one. I would doubt that these two have much, if any, specific matchup experience, and I think that is a point you brought up earlier in the 10v10 crew battle is there's so much kind of like international talent coming here that there's not a ton of data in terms of old match history between these two. So only one stock for Toph to take. Let's see if he can get there without too much damage being inflicted to his team.
Yeah, my guess is, I mean, like, these guys might be more... I'm not super familiar with Max as a player, but after seeing Max's set against Matteo, it would not be surprising if Max did quite well against Toph. Not to disrespect Toph in any way, I just think Matteo is very, very good. And Max kind of, you know, making it look fairly easy, but Toph finds a way, threads the needle.
The beginning of that stock for Max looked incredibly clean, and then Toph just handed us like a really just solid stock on a platter. And we're just like, we're just going to close it out, 4 stocks apiece. Swooper giving him a little bit of advice there. Maybe is that mid-set coaching? Did we ban that?
That's the G-Money style, though. Just, you know, the fingers were waving, but not too much is going on. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, good showing from Toph. Something I was going to say about Toph's play. Are you getting that in your mic as well?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
It might be my mic pickup here. Yeah. Look at my counter picks.
I mean, once you hear the Toph giggle, you're like, okay, I know what I'm hearing.
Okay, Kingu, the counter pick. I heard Jigglypuff.
Yeah, Kingu makes sense. Pretty solid Jigglypuff. I don't actually think I've ever seen Kingu in person, but I've definitely watched Kingu play before.
Sure.
I mean, there actually are quite a few good puffs that kind of are putting it together lately. So this is a matchup that, I don't know, I'm actually pretty interested to see how this plays out.
I want to say at Battle of BC, I casted Toph against a puff in pools, and he had a really strong grasp of the
good
matchup.
Game plan, yeah.
He's not like super over aggro, but he kind of like picks and chooses his spots, and he's pretty solid on the up throw up air conversions as well. So kind of want to see what he adopts in a matchup like this that is, of course, different from a pool set. Kingu, a very, very different beast as well.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I think a huge part of this matchup is always kind of playing around that rest option. I talk about this a lot, but like, it's not just as simple as like, hey, don't get grabbed. It's specifically playing around all the setups. So like, let's say, for example, you see a puff going in on you.
Okay, he's
not living. No. If you see a puff, say for example, like naring you, like full hop naring or even short hop nair, you can want to be watching out for the grab. If you go for CC, there's a grab. Wave dash back, a grab. There's so many kind of like small setups that like, if you are seeing them coming, you can DI preemptively and get out of that situation immediately. I don't know what that was.
No! He's got up the top again!
Yeah.
Oh, Toph kind of laughing it off a little bit, but that one's got to hurt, especially two kind of like borderline rests where he could have lived.
Yeah, I think the second one especially was sort of questionable. But, you know, this is still a matchup where already Puff, basically at kill percent, a little bit more, and up throw up air will for sure kill. Up smash also kind of in that range, if not.
Oh no!
Wow.
From bad to worse!
That is going to trade at least, but man. Dreamland really throws off the math of everything because it's one of those stages where like just the numbers of how high it extends percents are kind of crazy sometimes. Like it'll be like, oh yeah, this kills on like every single stage except for Dreamland where it's plus 25.
Okay. Can Toph even this one back up? He's definitely opting to warm up the gun a little bit here, but you know, Kingu seems very content with just not approaching. We saw like a full 10, 15 seconds of time of just Toph standing laser for this. I feel like when Kingu's coming in, he's not winning some of these neutral exchanges right now, though, so.
I mean, and he has the time to do it. You know, there is not really a time limit in Cruise, so.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
3 off the top.
It was
3 that looked close.
Yeah.
Off the top.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes Puff Fox is like that, you know? Like, we see it kind of go that direction a lot, but sometimes you just see games where it's like, the reverse happens. It's like the Fox gets the grab, kills off up their up air, and you go like, wow, that was quick, like 55 or something, and then they do it again, and then they do it again, and you're like, okay, this is just really happening. So Kingu kind of pulling his weight.
Yeah,
but
pulling Team Max really
we're going to see Zuppy
far
here.
Ahead. Yeah,
for sure. And,
and I feel like, when we talk about a more condensed number of players on this crew, Zuppy kind of is the only option here, right? Unless we want to opt for the Puff Ditto. I don't think Swooper wants to play into this Puff.
I don't think so either, and I don't think that 2Saint wants to play the Ditto. I think, in general, of the Dittos in the game, the Puff Ditto is kind of one of the ones that people tend to like the least.
Wait a minute.
And yet, here we are. It wouldn't surprise me if 2Saint said to me, like, oh, but I like it. Like, it's a good one, you know, like, I'm into it. So, I don't know.
I am kind of surprised that they didn't opt
Do you
for
want hand
Zuppy.
warmer? Okay, just...
Okay, Kingu versus 2Saint in the Puff Ditto. What's the stage counter pick here, though?
It's FD?
FD?
Isn't this the FD music, or is it Battlefield?
Oh, no, it's Battlefield.
Battlefield, yeah.
I am wondering what the rationale is to send 2Saint in for this.
Yeah.
2Saint is very good, don't get me wrong, but I'm kind of with you. I feel like Zuppy was the no-brainer pick for that.
I mean, it's strange too, because Puff Dittos, like, if there's two things I know about them is one, they tend not to be super one-sided, just because the way you get openings is very often a back air war. And then two, they're kind of like, it's not that I don't think the best player wins, but I think that, like, look at this. Like, it's more just that I think the player, like, it's like, you know, you can be bad at this matchup and be a top 100 player, top 50 player, top 20 player, you know, because you just don't play it that often.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I think, like, you know, maybe 2Saint thinks I have a lot of confidence in this matchup, and I might kind of surprise Kingu, who might not be as good at it. But even still.
Yeah, the thing that I'm noticing right off the bat, Kingu is going nuts, by the way, but the out of shield game is actually quite important in a matchup that seems to be heavily dictated by the air-to-air. You're playing like drill into drill shield, and then like Kingu found that first kill from up smash out of shield. So it's a lot of just like how do you play around the other Puff blocking, at least in terms of these two players going at it.
Yeah, like there are some reliable kill setups. When pointing at the drill, that's a huge part of it. Like at the low percents, you can go for the drill grab and then try to get stage control at a high percent. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just got a little distracted there. So you can do the drill into up smash is probably your most reliable kill setup. We've seen earlier as well some things that combo to forward smash that you wouldn't think they would, like, but not that was a forward smash combo, but you get what I mean. Beyond that, it is just a lot of back airs. Rest can be a thing, but like you can pretty much kill Puff like at 0 with a rest.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of a weird option if they're not going to die off the top.
Okay, now 2Saint holding center right now, but I mean, I feel like center and stage positioning doesn't awfully matter that much in a matchup like this.
It kind of like can be tricky if you're in the corner. I do think you like control space in a bit of a weird way. That could have been arrested as shield, but that would have been Kingu's last stock, right? So, yeah.
2Saint's like kind of going ham right now.
Yeah, I mean, really impressing. Kind of going back to what I was saying before of like, if 2Saint feels like they're confident in this matchup, you can catch a lot of Puffs off guard. And I imagine this is the kind of situation where Toussaint must have spoken to the captain and said, like, hey, like, I can do this. Like, you just got to trust me on this one. And so far, that trust has paid off.
Yeah, for sure. Kingu wants one more stock here to feel pretty good about this. That put him at 6 right now. Overall, still above average performance, but I mean, Toussaint is just kind of expressing a bit of a mastery in the ditto right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Like, I think just it's hard to even place specifically like what it is that Toussaint is doing besides just having good spacing, besides having kind of like the knowledge of kind of when to go for certain kill setups, when to just try to build percent. But like, I think it really just does come down a lot to like slightly better spacing and slightly better awareness. Oh, wow.
He's just looking for up smash right now. Okay, big back air is not going to be enough to do it. Up smash will kill, up air will kill as well, especially if we're going air to air. Strong fair is enough to do it as well. Toussaint with the 2 stock.
Yeah, very, very solid from Toussaint. Gonna kind of swing the momentum back into that team's direction. Looks like Swooper is the captain.
Okay, so Max is out, Kingu is out. That leaves us with Frenzy, Professor Pro, and Fat Tino remaining. Against Toussaint.
Can you imagine if Fat Tino was just like a mobster or something? Like, we get the most literal
Honestly,
version.
I could.
I'm imagining like, yeah, someone who's really skinny or something as Fat Tino, because we don't even know what character Fat Tino plays.
That's right.
And like, I'm just, you know, it's either that or the guy from like The Simpsons that is the kind of like the like stock mob character. That's I'm like literally imagining his cartoon version kind of sitting in the chair. And he'd probably play like Falco.
Against Toussaint, so we in the US versus the world crew battle, I feel like we saw, I was gonna say we saw Frenzy come into a floaty matchup like this too. So I was like, I wouldn't be that surprised to see him as the counter pick here.
I think that makes a lot of sense actually.
And then is the counter pick, does he go FD?
Yoshi's is just really good. Yeah, Yoshi's is like actually absurdly good in this stage. I think there's some things that Puff has that are really strong, and against like a character like Fox, it's actually not a bad stage. But the ability to kill off the top so quickly is insane against Puff. Like, you can literally shine at say like 38, and then just like shine again, and she can die. Like that's probably too low, but like there are things like up tilt, shine, shine. There's like, you can do down air, shine, waveland, shine. Like, there's so many ways to kill her in this like 35 to 50 range off of a straight hit.
Right.
And that is enormous. Like, think about any matchup that you could do that. That sounds amazing. Then you put it against a character that just like dies early, quote unquote, so hard to kill in a lot of situations, lives for forever. And it's just too much for her to deal with a lot of the time. So I think we're definitely gonna see Yoshi's, and I like the Frenzy pick a lot.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Toussaint, again, to their credit, I feel like, I said it before, they have just like a miraculous number of rest setups too.
Yeah.
And that can really just blow a crew battle wide open like this. We saw Kingu do exactly that against Toph earlier today. But against a player as disciplined as Frenzy, and someone who is probably going to clock in with some pretty early kills, let's see what Toussaint brings to the table here.
For sure. I think like, I think my feeling with this matchup is that like,
oh god,
okay. Good air dodge,
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Everyone breathe.
So basically, I think like Falco's neutral tools in general are about like twice as good as Puff's. I think he hard wins the neutral. This could kill because of Yoshi's, but it's just about like, if Falco makes a single mistake, that advantage kind of disappears, and then Puff is way better at killing him. Beautiful stock from Frenzy, by the way.
Yeah, Frenzy playing just very cleanly right now. Jumps into the, jumps into forward smash right now.
Good.
Randall not there in time. That's just a straight up call out from Toussaint.
This is one of those things, whenever I'm coaching newer players or talking to newer players, I always say to them, the very first thing you want to do is prepare for that side B. especially if you're playing a Falco, because Falco's side B is like so strong. But even against a Fox, like it's just kind of something that people go for. And even at the very highest level, it's like, hey, are you ready to cover side B? That is just something that Falco is going to rely on. And of course, you don't want to go for a hard read every time, but sometimes if you do it like that, you can get such a huge advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Frenzy just looking for strong hit back air as well. Yeah, you can see it plain and clear. Single jab will convert into just pretty much any kill as well for Frenzy. So the options are numerous for the Falco, but Toussaint's still given a fighting chance right now.
Yeah, I believe like things like down tilt could go, but I feel like he's actually tunnel visioning a bit too hard in the back air. Does end up going for it, gets it, but you know, there are other ways you can try to kind of build percent, zone them out. Even things like up tilt at a certain point will start to kill on a stage like Yoshi's. So, yeah, but looks like we're going to get Swooper versus Frenzy, Falco versus Samus. I also don't think this is that bad of a matchup at all for Falco. I actually think Falco kind of like messes Samus up. So I think we might see Frenzy do better than we'd expect. But Swooper showing, you know, no joke versus Spaceys.
I feel like Frenzy in particular is really good at matchups when he gets to slow down like this. I mean, case in point, he was kind of clocking in just now, even if it was just for 2 stocks against Jigglypuff like that. I wonder what the counter picks are going to be after. Well, it only leaves Zuppy if Swooper goes down. But I could see Frenzy performing pretty well here as well.
No, for sure.
Then again, Swooper kind of just went absolutely crazy in the USA versus the world.
Yeah, it really,
so.
really did, and just had like beautiful sequences in general.
Yeah, really anything could go here. So let's see if the Dreamland counter pick pays off for Swooper. Starts off with a set of power shield as well.
Weird crouch cancel on the shine there, ends up knocking up Swooper not too high. One of the things that I like to bring up all the time, because people talk about it with Marth's shield all the time, is that Marth has a bug shield. Well, so does Samus. Samus's shield, when she crouches, thinks that Samus is standing, and it makes it so that it's easier for her to power shield, and that's why we see Swooper going for those crouch power shields, making Frenzy's life difficult. But there's a lot of counterplay. You can shoot a laser low and jump over it, and you can also try to shoot a laser so low that they can't power shield it, which I'm not sure is the case for Samus, but I know for Marth it actually isn't possible because of his shield size and stuff. So I don't think it is the case for Samus. Still, lots of counterplay.
Okay, Swooper from ledge is pretty scary. I think Frenzy's giving a lot of respect to that right now, just kind of walking all the way back. Nice power shield, too. Ooh. That was a very clean setup.
I honestly think like it might have been better to throw in like Zuppy or something. Since I actually think that like this kind of like deliberate, defensive, slow positional play tends to do well against like floaties, Samus, that kind of thing. And we're seeing that pay off right now.
For sure. Okay, Swooper finds the way to land. Big Shine only follows up with the back air. Swooper again coming in from ledge. Can't find his footing though.
Yeah, and right now, like, Frenzy doing a surprisingly good job of weaving around Swooper's projectile game while kind of just making a sort of a laser landmine situation against Swooper. And what a, like, just such good play from Frenzy. Like, what a air dodge, the power shields. Wow.
Okay, bit of out of shield play from Swooper. Calls at the jump with the rising nair as well. We'll get a full charge shot on the way out too. So this could be a huge swing for the Samus. I love Swooper's use of bombs, just kind of as mix-up recoveries and ways to like trip up or change his momentum in midair. Nice DI as well to get out of trouble right there. For now, still holding on to charge shot. This is pretty scary for Frenzy.
Yeah, I think one of the things I like about the bombs is that, like with Falco, for example, Falco often will have this like vertical lane he creates with his down air where like he full hops, he does a down air, and there's this whole vertical space that it occupies. And Swooper's bombs kind of like literally sort of serve like a similar purpose, but in the form of like a landmine where it's like you can't go there, you can't go here, you can't go there.
What is this stock?
What a punish so far. Nice shot on a shield though. This is big damage. One of the reasons why this matchup is pretty decent for Falco is unlike Fox, Falco basically combos Samus the way he combos every other floaty.
Yeah. Wow, yeah, probably the first grab we're seeing of the game as well. Swooper finding it, but can't close the stock out quite yet. Power shield on the F tilt is not going to be enough.
Yeah, and this is quite close, you know? Again, Swooper, their team, kind of on the back foot, his team, but like, still, off to a pretty damn good start.
Okay. Mix up right here and call out on the jump too.
That's gonna do it. Right?
It's close. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice tech. Super necessary. Still doesn't have jump though.
Yeah.
Okay, last stock here for Swooper, and this game can get really, really out of control now. Zuppy will have to take 9, potentially, at least for 2 players.
I mean, we saw Zuppy kind of show up in that game against J-Mook. I think Zuppy does have a lot of potential. Like I said before, high highs, just not that consistent. So, I mean, anything is possible, but Frenzy really making Swooper work here. And can Swooper even take this stock?
Okay, almost gets there. Super, super scary right now. Okay, no back air, but shield drop on Frenzy's back air instead. Yeah, and he's just starting to run away with it.
Nice. Love the tomahawk grab, too. Just kind of weaving around the defenses of Swooper. And I was going to say, like, this is looking pretty rough, but that down smash could have been it. Oh, look at the patience and shield. I love the grab, though. You can't shield forever.
Dash out, too. That was a lazy
it.
pummel from Swooper.
Okay, just... This is a weird percent where, like, even a back air, depending on where it is on the stage, is not going to do it. Needs to weave around the missiles. Any solid hit from Samus is going to kind of not just save her, but maybe even set up an edge guard of her own, like what we're seeing. That's going to kill. Yeah, it'll kill.
Okay, yeah, I honestly think that bringing Swooper instead of Zuppy for that set is the difference maker for this finals. But, like you said before, high highs. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's 9 stocks that Zuppy needs to take.
Yeah, and it's tricky too because like I kind of get the argument that having your anchor be a fox like is in some ways better because you're like less likely to kind of get hard counterpicked by a matchup or something. I'm trying to remember who's left on the other team. It's Fat Tino and
oh gosh,
one other person.
Professor Prof.
Prof, yeah. So, I mean, Fat Tino remains a mystery, but for everyone, like, you know, Prof versus, I mean, yeah, no, I still think it sounds like, still think it would have been better to play Zuppy early.
Yeah, hard to know for sure, but all we know is that Zuppy has a bit of a climb ahead of him if he wants to take this one home for his team. Frenzy still holding on to this last stock, though. Really good performance overall. Frenzy and King, who showed up pretty huge right now for Team Max.
Definitely. Get some mango typers in the chat. But yeah, definitely interested to see how Zuppy matches up against Frenzy. Kind of a general. I'm like, after watching Frenzy play, I really am excited to see how he does. I feel like he could have a kind of breakout performance. It feels like nowadays, like kind of everyone can. You know, there's so many people where it's like, just how well will they do? I don't know. But ooh, that's big.
Yeah, the biggest thing here is if Frenzy takes a stock, I feel like it is just all but over at that
definitely
point.
An up tilt. Yeah.
Frenzy's looking so solid right now, can potentially take one. And again, one stock just makes it all the more difficult for Zuppy to make this massive.
That's going to do it, yeah. I completely agree. Like now, Zuppy constantly at a disadvantage. Already it would have been an impressive win against Professor Pro. Now it's going to be like that much more difficult when only 3 stocks. And I say that as if there won't be more to come.
Yeah, might not be over yet.
Yeah,
catches the miss tech as well.
And I think we are in the twilight of this crew battle right now. Zuppy's struggling to close it out versus Frenzy, but even if he does, I'm just hoping we see Fat Tino. You know?
He's an enigma wrapped in mystery.
Honestly.
I don't know who Fat Tino plays. We don't have it on the graphic. It could be anyone.
This is Tino, right? This is Tino. I'm hearing.
Okay.
Tino, yeah.
Yes.
Just enormous, you know, exactly what I was imagining.
I'm a fan.
I like it. I think anyone that does the fat tag and they're not is kind of funny. Just interesting tag period, but now comes the question of what does Tino play?
Everybody listen.
I mean, with the little armband, I'm wondering, like,
Luigi?
probably like a spade.
Okay.
Luigi?
I heard Luigi first, but now I hear Falco.
Yeah, I mean, with anyone who has like hand injuries, I mean, that's like more of like a tennis elbowy kind of band, so you never know. But guess is a hand warmer or what?
Yes. Okay, so Falco Fox again. And Zuppy has 2 stocks left. They keep Professor Pro in the back to potentially wrap this one up, but I mean, even so, it's not impossible. It's not.
I mean, Fat Tino has got an uphill battle in some ways. So you're right. Like, even taking 2 stocks off Zuppy, this is a player, again, who has like wins like against players such as Aquo. You know, someone who has just kind of done consistently well against so many very, very good players. And
I love what Zuppy does there with the aerial double shines. It just looks so clean the way that he
really
does this. It's a tall order though. Zuppy needs to essentially 3-stock or 4-stock Tino and 3-stock Professor Pro to take this one.
Yeah, and one of those is a little bit more difficult than the other, and I'm not going to say which. Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Yeah, I really like the decision on Fat Tino's end to get do the down air into the grab. That's something you see when people are STIing away on the down air to kind of prevent the shine. And someone who's playing on a box in particular is pretty likely to do that. So already we're seeing good stuff from Tino.
Oh, I love the chant in the crowd right now. Okay, Zuppy just catching every tech roll away. What's the get-up option right here? Tino just gets out with the down air, though. Really good stuff.
A good slide off from Zuppy, making it a bit more difficult. But, I mean, there's one of them. Tino with more stocks to spare. Will we even need Professor Pro, or will Tino take it all the way?
Ooh, Battlefield.
Oh, big shine.
Misses the follow-up slightly. Zuppy finds the slide off and gets a pretty huge punish as a result. 2 up smashes as well. Looking for the rolling, can't quite get there.
That was already crazy damage. Probably going to take this stock with an insanely timed back air. That, like, looks not that hard because you're just doing the back air, but, like, it's not lenient at all. And, you know, Zuppy, maybe he can make magic happen. If he's able to take this stock, he's got a shot against Pro. He just needs to have the greatest game of his life.
Yeah.
But Tino's not out of this yet.
Okay, big opportunity. Mistech on left platform. Zuppy's taking this one all the way out. And that's all she wrote? Yep. Okay, needs a 4-stock.
I mean, a 4-stock and a Fox Ditto against a player like Professor Pro doesn't sound impossible, but I would not bet on Zuppy. That's all I'm going to say. I think it's about as tough as it can get.
So the biggest thing I wonder now is we go into Fox Ditto, needs a 4-stock. Does Prof give him FD with the potential for it just to end it in 1 grab? Professor Pro can do it,
I feel
but
like
Zuppy can get 4 grabs is the question.
You know when you hear like a political party will back like a crazy candidate in the hopes that the crazy candidate kind of like makes their real competition do badly, but then like that crazy candidate ends up having just an insane run and it all backfires? That's going to FD1.
That's what I'm nervous about, though.
That's like, don't worry, it's fine. All we need is 1 grab, and it's like, don't you understand, man?
It's a non-zero chance, man. It's a non-zero chance. Not impossible. So we'll see. I'm assuming he would go for a platform stage just to kind of like ensure that it needs to be more of an outplay than just like finding grab and getting kind of the easy chain grab into follow-up. But you never know.
Yeah, you just don't want to get too cocky, you know? I think any situation, much like my very long-winded and not super great analogy, you want to kind of play it where it's like, okay, even if I lose all 3 stocks, it doesn't matter because I have a 4th stock and I just need to take Zuppies.
Yep.
You know, like, this is, again, what makes Cruise kind of interesting is in a normal, even game, the kind of risk-reward of certain situations is so different. Like, there was a crew battle I remember, can't remember what one, but it was SFAT versus S2J. And at one point, SFAT just started doing standing lasers because he was like kind of sort of BMing him. But also he's like, I'll just take 20%, man, 30%. Like that, like is enough to sort of just seal the deal.
Right.
And so again, as long as Professor Pro, he could take about like Zuppy can take 3 stocks and it won't matter if he's just kind of playing to his win condition, getting to a point where nothing Zuppy can do is truly safe.
Okay, I'm hearing Fountain of Dreams from Professor Pro for our last game of the open bracket in this 5v5 crew battle. Only 1 stock. Professor Pro only needs 1 stock. Can he get there, or is Zuppy going to make the miracle run with 9?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Honestly, it is.
I mean, the crew battle could be over in 10 seconds, or it could be over in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
We got to stick around and find out.
They did say start on 40, so we're about to find out, like you said. My guess is Zuppy takes 2 stocks. I think he's got that kind of the fire in him right now, but I don't think he takes it all the way. It's going to be more than a bit tough. This is the first thing he needs.
Okay, no reverse hit back air, yeah.
Nice.
He's moving really fast. He's pushing the pace really hard here. So the big question is Zuppy going to run out of steam?
Yeah, every big opening like that gets the reverse jab into the reset, and just, I don't know, crouch cancel to me is the name of the game, because like there's certain options that open up once you get them, even like 66 right now, like if you get things like an up tilt, it's like a juicy opening. Get a bit more percent, then you can just start throwing out dash attacks whenever, and like that can lead to so much. So many things in this matchup just are so heavily affected by percent. It's not like a Falco where you kind of always have that anti-CC option.
Yeah, all right, whatever. Professor Pro brings it home. It's coming home for the Englishman.
Yes.
Team Max wins the open crew battle bracket. Really good effort from Team Zuppy there overall. Brings it within 3 stocks for the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, good stuff to them all. It was a fun game for sure. Closing off the night.
I had a good
kind of
time.
in style. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely feeling a little hungry, but otherwise feeling pretty good. And, you know, we've had a lot of great matches today. And I was saying this earlier, like, there's so many more still to come. I think this is going to be such a stacked event tomorrow. We've seen kind of glimpses of it in the America versus the World crew battle. We saw a few glimpses of it just there with people like Toussaint, with Frenzy. So definitely tune in tomorrow. We have so many more matches. Tune in Sunday. This has been Radar and Turndown for Walt. I'm so excited to continue commentating this weekend, and thank you so much for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.